up, Hot Wheels racing fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing channel. And today we've got the first of 4 road course events at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Leg 1 of the Diecast World Cup, the first NASCAR Nitro Series in-season tournament, where the top 3 in the Road Course World Cup Mario Kart points will have those points added to their season points total, and the winner will get an extra prize car, which will be a premium casting with rubber tires. We have one heck of an exciting qualifying session and B Series race. Congratulations to Lord Shank on winning the B Series race. Here's your starting lineup. He and Morgan Shepherd, who finished second, gets into the big race, with Morgan Shepherd starting in 50th, Misty G on the pole. Also your segment pole sitters Bishop Petty Jr., Burt Buzzard, Thomas Elliott, and Gale Force. Some other drivers to watch out for includes Baby Richie, the winner of the only road course race last season, as well as Skeeter Davis starting on the front row of his segment, and your number 1 seed Cowell Petty looking to turn his disappointing season around. And let's kick things off with segment number 1. In the front row is your pole sitter Misty G, next to her Gaza, behind them Sonic for Cactus Creek Racing, as well as Deuce Andretti, Rowan for Uncle Elvis Racing, and Abby Normal, Misty G's satellite teammate Lazy A, Kid Zach for Mark Russell Racing, and RJ McCready and Zard in the back row. And look at this, the top 6 flying away from the rest of the pack, and Misty G flying flawlessly through the split tracks. Gaza bins it in the middle of the turn, cautions out for a double DNF. Gaza and Abby Normal on their roofs and out of the race. At least a double DNF, possibly a triple. Lazy A was getting a bit squirrely on the outside of the max track turn, and yes, she's on her roof and out of the race too. A triple DNF to kick things off on lap number 1. They're being all taken to the HSL junkyard, where the proprietors are showing off their brand new tow truck that he bought with all the money that the Texas Motor Speedway scrap metal generated. That race had a lot of DNFs. And now it's time for lap number 2. And now let's see if these 7 remaining drivers can avoid the same fate. The gates are down. Misty G with an extra pusher. Flying away from the rest of the pack, Sonic makes a move for second place, solidifies his grip on second over Deuce Andretti throughout the split turns. Deuce Andretti gets beached at the top of the track. Meanwhile, RJ McCready almost bins it, but he recovers and lands on his wheels. Misty G with the lead again. Kid Zach forced off the track, shoved over the guardrail by Rowan, who'll be starting in last place. And now the gates are down for the final lap of segment number 1. Does anybody have anything for Misty G? They're in a single file line, the inside lane. Deuce Andretti moves up to second place. The rest of the field bunches up behind them. I think only Sonic makes it out. It's going to be Misty G followed by Deuce Andretti. Misty to the main event, Deuce Andretti to the seconds race, and Sonic to the thirds. And with one segment in the bag, now it's time for segment number 2. On the front row, we have Bishop Petty Jr. and Coffee Tart behind them, Killa Kowalski and Gator McCluskey, Richard Petty and his teammate Sawyer. In row number 3 and in the 4th row, making his debut is Chewy, with a couple of fast cars, Crazy Ruby and Amber Beach starting in the back. And finally in 10th place is Vinny Nightlife. And now the gates are down for lap number 1. The inside lane gets a push. Bishop Petty Jr. running away from the rest of the pack. Killa Kowalski moves up to second place. And look at that, Richard Petty does a somersault and throws it into reverse. Cautions out, we've got an El Recco. He gets tied up with his teammate Chewy, and that causes Chewy to lose all of his momentum in the middle of the turn. His debut is definitely going to be one to forget. He's on his roof and out of the race on lap number 1. Everybody else still on their wheels. Coffee Tart and Richard Petty still barely on the track as Chewy gets taken out to the HSL junkyard. And it's just been an absolute nightmare start to the season for Chewy. Only saving grace in the points so far is that this is not a crown jewel event, so there's fewer cars than there were at Daytona. And now it's time for lap number 2. And the gates are down. The 2 Pontiac Grand Prix stalkers of Gator McCluskey and Bishop Petty Jr. fly off the track coming out of turn number 2. Cautions out, Major El Recco. We got a double DNF, possibly a triple, and it looks like Gator McCluskey recovers. Bishop Petty Jr. and Richard Petty do not. Terrible lap for the whole Petty family. Richard Petty and Bishop Petty both out of the race in lap number 2. Here's a replay of Bishop Petty Jr.'s crash. The Slambulance kind of saves Gator McCluskey there, but Bishop Petty Jr. not so lucky, and you can see the unrelated crash of Richard Petty. That's a very top-heavy tuned casting. Both headed out to the HSL junkyard. This is a devastating blow in the points chase for Bishop Petty Jr. He came into this race 4th in the point standings, looking for a first career win. And now this after looking really strong in qualifying. And now it's time for the final lap of segment number 2. The gates are down. With that extra pusher, the inside lane gets a great start. Killa Kowalski and Sawyer flying away from the rest of the pack. Does Crazy Ruby have anything for them heading into the flip turn? And now look at this. Killa Kowalski flying away from the rest of the pack coming out of turn number 3. Stunt driving, throws it in reverse, and look at this, coming out of nowhere is Amber Beach. Makes her way out of the carnage in the middle of the pack to take second place in this segment, away from Sawyer at the last second. There you can see Gator McCluskey coming off the track again. More bad luck this year despite his fast car. He's off to the 7th race. And now it's time for segment number 3. And on the pole for this segment is your defending champion, Burt Buzzard. Next to him, Johnny, what the hell is a kilometer, Benson for Uncle Elvis Racing. Behind them, team owner Po Boy and Atomic Bob, who's quickly become the flagship driver for Mark Russell Racing. John Trent, Bubba Wallace, his teammate William Byron, Lucas Sattler Jr., Jimbo Rockford, and Cooter Smith making his big race debut. And the gates are down for lap 1. Burt Buzzard throws a block on the rest of the field, slides off of Johnny Benson, and Po Boy flies away from the rest of the track. Meanwhile, Johnny Benson throws Po Boy off the track, and John Trent gets tossed all the way off by Atomic Bob. Po Boy just hangs on a little bit, but cautions out El Recco for Cooter Smith. Had some good runs in the B Series, but it seems like the lights of the main series were a bit too bright for him in his debut. That's a first lap El Recco, as he's hauled off to the HSL junkyard, where he joins his teammate that also landed on his roof in the B Series race. And now it's time for lap number 2. The gates are down. Great push by Bubba Wallace. Bump drafting off the back of Burt Buzzard. Does Johnny Benson have anything in the flip turn? Johnny Benson fighting for second place at the top of the track. It's going to be Burt Buzzard running away from the rest of the pack once again. Can Johnny Benson take second from Bubba Wallace? Yes, he does. Dominant driving by Burt Buzzard so far. 2 laps in, Johnny Benson moves back up to second place. Does Po Boy, Bubba Wallace, or Lucas Sattler Jr., or any of these other guys have anything for Burt Buzzard? The gates are down. Burt Buzzard with a car length lead over Bubba Wallace. That inside lane was much too strong, even in the flip turn. It's going to be Burt Buzzard. No, they spin out. Burt Buzzard and Bubba Wallace both spin. Burt Buzzard throws a block on the rest of the field, and Lucas Sattler Jr. comes out of nowhere to steal second place. Some points racing by Lucas Sattler Jr., who started this segment in 5th. What an exciting end to this segment. Burt Buzzard to the main event. Now let's see if segment number 4 can match that excitement. On the front row, we have Thomas Elliott next to his teammate Cowell Petty. Starting in 3rd, we have Baby Richie that won the only modified road course race last year, alongside Thomas and Cal Petty's satellite teammate Remy 12 Gauge. Sterling Marlin and Thunderbolt Joe make up row number 3. Puff and Sparky Racer row number 4. And finally, Tails and your B Series race winner Lord Shank. The gates are down for lap 1. It's a battle between the FPD Racing teammates of Thomas Elliott and Cowell Petty. That's Cowell like Simon Cowell. It's going to be Thomas Elliott. That takes lead number 1, but Cowell Petty did not make it easy for him. The rest of the field fans out on the backstretch, and we've got a car on its roof. That's Thunderbolt Joe. Cautions out for another El Recco. It's a double DNF. Lord Shank binned it in the turn. All the ecstasy of winning the B Series race, it's all for naught as he's on his roof and out of the race and in the HSL junkyard. Thunderbolt Joe is going to join both of his teammates, Kid Charlemagne from the B Series race and Abby Normal from one of the earlier segments. We've got 8 cars left after 1 lap. The gates are down. Lanes are still evenly matched, but look at this draft Thomas Elliott's getting from Remy 12 Gauge. Remy making a move for second place over Cowell Petty. Cowell Petty fighting back, takes second place, throws a block on the rest of the field. The crowd bunches up behind the first 3 cars. It's going to be Thomas Elliott leading lap number 2. Baby Richie back to 4th. And now it's time for the final lap of segment number 4. The gates are down. It's an even match. Cowell Petty and Thomas Elliott side by side heading into turn 1. Thomas Elliott with a push from Remy 12 Gauge. Cowell Petty throws a block to preserve second place. Thomas Elliott spins out, but collects Cowell Petty in the wreckage. Cowell Petty can't complete the pass, and it's a dead heat for 3rd place between Sterling Marlin and Baby Richie. Looks like Baby Richie's going to get it. And meanwhile, Remy 12 Gauge is off the track. Another nominee for Bad Luck Driver of the Year. He's got such a fast car, but has not had the results to match so far this season. Yet another disappointing points day for him. And now it's time for segment number 5, your 5th and final segment of the day. And on the front row, we have Gale Force next to Skeeter Davis. 2-star drivers coming off a season with wins and top 5 points finishes. Behind them, Kyle Petty and Flip Gambino. Lucky Jackson still looking for that first career win alongside Ratha, Bobby Allison, Racer Gnome, Raya Isaac, and Morgan Shepherd. The gates are down for lap number 1. Gale Force, smooth as butter through the split turns, runs away from the rest of the pack. Skeeter Davis holds on to second place. Meanwhile, Kyle Petty gets tossed off of the track. Lucky Jackson and Bobby Allison almost come off the track, but they keep their wheels on the inside. Riot Isaac slides to the bottom of the track in the middle of turn 2. They'll be starting on the back row for lap number 2. Does anybody have anything for Gale Force? Gates are down for lap 2. And it's Flip Gambino making a move for the second place. But look at this, Skeeter Davis on the inside turn in turn number 2. Makes a move for the lead, tosses Flip Gambino onto the guardrail. Ratha moves up to third place, trying to make a move for second, but Skeeter throws a block at the very end. Does Skeeter Davis have anything for Gale Force heading into the final lap? There goes Racer Gnome off the side of the track. Pretty steep tumble for Racer Gnome. And look at that, Gale Force, El Reco at the split turn. Skeeter Davis flies away from the rest of the field. Flip Gambino goes off the track. It's going to be Skeeter Davis to the main event, Bobby Allison to the seconds race, Flip Gambino and Ratha off the track, and Gale Force on her roof and out of it. Gale Force's day is over, and so is Racer Gnome. Had a steep fall, very high up on the split track. He's on his side and out of the race as well. The HSL junkyard filling up, not nearly as many cars as there were at Texas. I missed Gale Force's flip when I was rewatching this for the junkyard photo shoot, but don't worry, she's having just as bad of a points day as Racer Gnome and all the other drivers with lap 3 DNFs. And with the end of segment racing, that means it's time for your 8th race. On the front row, we have Atomic Bob going up against Ratha. Behind them is Tails for Cactus Creek Racing alongside Jimbo Rockford. The gates are down for the 8th race. The 8th through 4th race are going to be only 1 lap. Meanwhile, the 3rd and 2nd race will be 2, and that's an easy win for Ratha. Moving on to the 7th race. As she crawls slowly and slowly towards the finish line, still has just enough speed to cross. And now it's time for the 7th race. On the front row, Gator McCluskey next to Flip Gambino. John Trent and Sparky Racer, the latter making his series debut, and the Uncle Elvis teammates of Ratha and Zard, both of whom are from Alien Planets. And it looks like Flip Gambino is going to take the lead in the flip lane where the outside becomes the inside, runs away from Gator McCluskey, breezes his way to the 6th race with a track segment plus lead over Gator. And we have Zard pushing Sparky Racer towards the finish line as well. And now it's time for your 6th race. On the front row, Remy 12 Gauge and Kyle Petty, William Byron and Kid Zach, Vinny Nightlife, and your 7th race winner, Flip Gambino. Now the gates are down for the 6th race. Remy 12 Gauge flying away from the rest of the pack. 2 car length lead before they even leave the split track. And it's Remy 12 Gauge's race to lose. He gets sideways, looks like he's trying to throw a block on Kyle Petty. But Kyle Petty, with all the momentum, breaks through Remy's block. And it's going to be Kyle Petty moving on to the 5th race. Remy 12 Gauge does some more bad luck. And it looks like we have Kid Zach on his side. William Byron coming off of the track. And now it's time for your 5th race. And the first 3 spots are occupied by a trio of star drivers from last season. Coffee Tart, Po' Boy, and Puff. Next to Puff is RJ McCready, followed by Riot Isaac and Kyle Petty. The gates are down for the 5th race. Coffee Tart running away from the rest of the pack. But look at that smooth move by Po' Boy for the lead in the middle of the flip turn. The rest of the field bunches up by Po' Boy coming out of turn number 3, and it's going to be Po' Boy sailing away into the 4th race. He wins the 5th race by the length of the backstretch, and looks like RJ McCready actually comes back to finish 2nd place in this 5th race. But being that it's not a crown jewel, only 1 car moves on. And that makes it time for the 4th race. On the front row, Johnny What the Hell's a Kilometer Benson, followed by his teammates Rowan and Sterling Marlin. Crazy Ruby in 4th, Morgan Shepherd and Po' Boy all making it a close pack. And it's Rowan makes the move on his teammate on the inside of turn 2. Reverse side drafts Johnny Benson, and he's got a track segment lead coming out of turn number 3. It's going to be Rowan moving on to the 3rd race, and Crazy Ruby unburies herself from the middle of the pack to take 2nd place in this race. There's Sterling Marlin, Po' Boy, and Morgan Shepherd rounding out your top 20. And now it's time for the 3rd race. Unlike those previous races, this is 2 laps long, and on the front row is Sonic for Cactus Creek Racing and Baby Richie. Behind them, Sawyer and Lucky Jackson, Bubba Wallace, and your 4th race winner, Rowan. The gates are down for lap number 1. And it's Sonic living up to his namesake, pulling away from the rest of the pack. Baby Richie throws a block to maintain 2nd, tries to throw Lucky Jackson off the track, and it's going to be Sonic running away with lap number 1 of this 3rd race by the entire length of the backstretch. No DNFs on lap 1 of the third race, and the gates are down for the final lap. Now let's see, does anybody have anything for Sonic trying to make his way to his first career seconds race? And this time, Lucky Jackson not making it easy for Sonic, trying to find a room to get by and make a move for the lead, but Sonic is just too fast coming out of turn number 3, and it's going to be Sonic moving on to the seconds race. Sonic with a track segment lead over Lucky Jackson. And let's take a look and see if these drivers are still on the track. They are on the lip of the track. Baby Richie, Bubba Wallace, and Sawyer round out your top 15. And now it's time for the seconds race where all but one of these drivers are going to make it into the top 10. And on the front row, the FPD Racing teammates of Cowell Petty and Deuce Andretti. Bobby Allison, the third FPD driver, Lucas Sattler Jr., followed by their satellite teammate, your points leader, Amber Beach, who fought her way into the seconds race after starting 43rd, and Sonic, your third race winner. Now the gates are down, and Cowell Petty with a 2-car length lead over the rest of the pack. Deuce Andretti making great time in the flip turn, but through that third turn, Cowell Petty just flying away from the rest of the field, beats out Deuce and the rest of the guys by almost the entire length of the backstretch. Bobby Allison goes off the track, and we've got an El Reco for Sonic. He's on his side and out of the race. He'll be credited with 11th place. And now the gates are down for lap 2 of the seconds race. Does anybody have anything for Cowell Petty? And it's 1, 2, 3 for FPD Racing. Cowell Petty carrying so much speed through that third turn. It's going to be Cowell Petty moving on to the main event. Lucas Sattler Jr. will get credit for 7th. Deuce Andretti for 8th. And Amber Beach 10th, some masterful points racing after starting nearly dead last. And now it's what y'all have been waiting for. It's main event time. And on the front row, we have Misty G going up against Burt Buzzard in second place, Thomas Elliott and Skeeter Davis in the second row, followed by Killa Kowalski and Cowell Petty. Now the gates are down. Misty G and Burt Buzzard side by side for the lead. Misty G gets a great push from Thomas Elliott. He takes over second place from Burt Buzzard. Misty G with a car length lead over Thomas. He is hot on her trail, though. He spins out trying to make a move for the lead. Misty G takes lap number 1. Thomas Elliott and Burt Buzzard fighting for second place. It's going to be Thomas Elliott on the front row for lap number 2 next to Misty G. And now the gates are down. Thomas Elliott and Misty G side by side. Does Thomas Elliott have anything for Misty? She goes flying in somersaults. Pushed all the way back to 4th. Skeeter Davis moves up to 2nd. Cautions out. We got a double DNF. Cowell Petty and Burt Buzzard collect each other in the middle of the third turn. Both of them on their side, on their roof, out of the race. And it's going to be Thomas Elliott leading the field down for the final lap. Skeeter Davis starting in 2nd. Misty G in 3rd. And Killa Kowalski. The gates are down. And look at Skeeter Davis with a car length lead before even getting to the bottom of the ramp. Does Thomas Elliott have anything for the turns? It's going to be Thomas Elliott and Skeeter Davis battling it out. Now Misty G trying to make a move for second place again. Thomas Elliott taking advantage of all this fighting in his rearview mirror. He's going to fly away to his first career NASCAR Nitro Series victory. Skeeter Davis in 2nd, and Killa Kowalski takes home 3rd. And here is your podium. Thomas Elliott, his first career NASCAR Nitro Series win, his first career Nitro Series top 10. Congratulations to FPD Racing, the big winners today. 2 cars on the podium, 3 cars in the main event, and their other 2 teammates in the top 10 as well. Great job, FPD Racing, their breakout race so far. Skeeter Davis, his first top 5 of the year, to be working his way up the points as well. And here is your top 10 finishers. Thomas Elliott, Skeeter Davis, and Killa Kowalski make up your podium. Misty G and Cowell Petty round out the top 5. Burt Buzzard, your last driver in the main event. Lucas Sattler Jr. and Deuce Andretti, Bobby Allison, and Amber Beach round out your top 10. That's all 5 cars from FPD Racing, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. Congratulations. And now let's take a look at the rest of your top 15 here. Sonic and Lucky Jackson, Baby Richie, Bubba Wallace, and Sawyer round out your top 15. Rowan, Crazy Ruby, Sterling Marlin, great run for him, his best of the season so far. Po' Boy and Morgan Shepherd. Morgan Shepherd started dead last, moved himself all the way up to 20th. Great race for him. Johnny Benson, RJ McCready, Puff, Kyle Petty, and Riot Isaac round out the top half of the field. And here's positions 26 through 50. Tail Force, your highest finishing El Reco. Tails, your lowest finishing finisher of the segments. That makes only 11 DNFs out of 50. Some great clean racing, at least in laps 2 and 3 of these segments. I believe everybody from Gaza on down were lap 1 DNFs. Great job. 39 cars finished. Some great clean racing. Now let's take a look at your points. Amber Beach with an 18-point lead over Misty G. She closed that gap, finishing 6 spots ahead of Amber, but still great point racing by Amber Beach. Could have easily been a disaster starting in 42nd. She managed to salvage a top 10 as well. Lucas Sattler Jr. with his top 10 finish today moves up to 3rd. Skeeter Davis and Bobby Allison tied for 4th and 5th. Coffee Tart, Deuce Andretti, Bishop Petty Jr. still in 8th place despite his DNF. Atomic Bob and Harry Hoon, the latter of whom DNQ'd for this race, still 10th in points. Now let's take a look at positions 11 through 25. Burt Buzzard tied with his teammate Harry Hoon for 10th, technically in 11th. Thomas Elliott moves all the way up to 12th with this win. He was somewhere in the 20s or 30s heading into this race. RJ McCready, Baby Richie, and Bubba Wallace all the way up to 15th. Look how tight these points are. 25th place, Lucky Jackson, 249 points. 27th place, Sonic at 236. That is only 99 points between 10th and 27th. And only 96 points between 15th place, Bubba Wallace, and 38th place, Zard. This has been some intense competition these past 3 races. Ted Musgrave at 44th with 116 points, 1 point ahead of Jimbo Rockford for that all-important inside lane heading into Bristol. Here is the rest of your point standings. Everyone else who qualified for a race so far. Sterling Marlin moves his way up to 46th with his top 20 finish. And currently Tails is in 50th. That's important for your All-Star Open. That'll be later on this season. Sometime in between the road course races, I might have the All-Star Open and the All-Star race be at different tracks this year. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do about that yet. You know, after this race is going to be the Freedom Eagle 400 at Bristol, followed by Watkins Glen. And here are your Road Course World Cup Mario Kart points. Thomas Elliott with 15 and Lucky Jackson finished 12th in the race with 1. The top 3 finishers are going to have their points added to their total season points, and the winner will receive a special prize car with rubber tires and metal base. I'll announce what the car is going to look like at the Road Course World Cup finale at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez later this season. I think what I'll do is the All-Star Open before that, then the All-Star race after the last road course race, and then the Coca-Cola 600. And also I'll be bringing back Las Vegas, one of these races, for the Kyle Busch 400, and I'm going to introduce the slot machine, which is a new way to earn bonus points at that track. Keep an eye out for that as well. And if you want to see your cars on my channel, or if you're not happy with how your car is running, send your cars to HSL Diecast P.O. Box 7, Wing Gap, Pennsylvania. And remember to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. We'll see you out there on the track.